Hello and welcome to the Sacred Ancestral Clearing and DNA Healing. I'm Shani-faye Chambers. I am the creator, the facilitator, and the teacher trainer of this incredible modality. I'm really glad you're here because I know just how transformational this process really is. It is the most incredible journey where you get to really deeply heal, release, resolve, dissolve generational trauma at its original and root cause. So you can have a look around this website. You'll see lots of different videos explaining more about the process, the training, things like that. But I wanted to take this opportunity to start off by sharing just how this beautiful process came through. So it was in 2018 and I was attending yet another course to add to my credentials. I'd already been a full-time therapist for a number of years. I'd been studying for probably about 15 years by that stage. And I was going pretty deep in this training into having a look at what was going on within me. I've been healing since a very young age. I was introduced to healing as a child because my mother was the generational chain breaker for our family. So she was always right into it. I did my first Reiki workshop when I was 10 years old, like as a facilitator, learning how to do it myself. So it's always been a way of life. Anyway, what became really apparent to me as I was starting to look at all these things, I started to realize, like, and excuse the language, but how the hell are we meant to love ourselves in its entirety when we are holding all the pain, the shame, the blame, the trauma of our parents, of their parents, of their parents' parents? Because we do actually hold the imprint in our cellular memory of everything that's happened to our parents and grandparents and great-great-grandparents. It's an energetic imprint. So when we're looking at issues such as shame, anger, not worthy, not good enough, scarcity, what are the chances that both your parents have experienced that too? And their parents, and their parents' parents, and their parents' parents. You know, so by the time we want to work through these core issues for ourselves in this lifetime, it's already heavily compounded into our DNA. So the work that we're doing to just try to heal it from us is not reaching far enough. That's why we have to work so hard to try to get a result, is because we're not actually addressing it at the root cause. So I'd been already working with clients in many different ways. I'd already been working with generational trauma. I'd already been doing things like timeline therapy, where we can go and clear something from one generational timeline. I'd already been working with people for probably about a decade at this stage, distantly, like remotely. So if someone's not with me, I can actually tune into the energy field and heal from a distance. We learn that with Reiki, we learn that with lots of different healing modalities. So I knew that we could clear generational trauma. I also knew that we didn't have to have someone in the room to do it, so long as we have their permission. And I'm looking at how much crap is in the upline. And I asked a very important question. And the question was, surely we can do this quicker. And spirit, God, source, whatever you want to call it, to me it's all the same. It's a very high frequency of truth and healing and love. Spoke to me because I've had quite a few spiritual experiences where, I can communicate and get information. And I was like, surely we can do this quicker. And they've gone, yes we can. And that's when they've shown me the beautiful sacred valley of the ancestors. And it was a case of just bring everyone here and just do them all at once. And I was transported there. I had the most surreal experience of my life, and I knew that it makes me emotional, something really beautiful was about to be born. So it still took another couple of months for me to integrate the energy and bring it all through. And then when I did finally pour out the process for the first time, 31st of August 2018, and I took somebody through it, took a couple of friends through it, and the changes that they went through, and that the first lady, she was estranged from her daughter. Her daughter adult daughter, had been lost in the drug scene for, couple of years, I think, at that stage. Couple of days later, rang up and said, I'm sorry, I miss you, I love you, I want to get clean. And I followed that journey into her coming back into their lives. Now, was that a coincidence? Because we were setting the intention to heal the whole generational line. The second person I just trialed this on, same thing happened, but with her mother. She was very estranged from her mother. Her mother had very nasty narcissistic tendencies. And the very next day, she sent her a really beautiful message. We were looking at this going, who wrote this? Long story short, their relationship blossomed. She is a completely different person as a result, the mother. So this process, one member goes through it, but the whole generational line are invited in. So I can't guarantee results for family members for two reasons, because one, they might not choose to actually be a part of it. And two, there's, sometimes people can clear all this pain and trauma out of their cellular memory, but if they don't want to take the actions to actually change, or if they love their victimhood, they love the old story, they'll just recreate it. But the transformation that the person going through it, that's booked in for the session, goes through is out of this world. I'll give you another really good example. When I first brought this process through, I had a beautiful woman who was sexually assaulted by her dad, her and her sister, to quite a bad degree. He ended up in jail. And because of the way that the trauma imprints into the body, she's a mother of 4 children, and she'd actually taken herself to mental wards before because she had such horrific thoughts that she was going to do something wrong to her children. She never in a million years would. It's called post-traumatic stress disorder. Anytime that she was in a position to change a nappy or something like that, she'll get nasty flashbacks, and it would make her sick, and it would make her very fearful. That is how this trauma is imprinted in the generations. This process cleaned it out in its entirety. A few days later, she messaged me. She goes, I can't even think about it. Like, it's just not there. This beautiful woman went on to do the training, become a practitioner, and I asked her if she wanted to share in the group, how are you feeling about it now? And she said, put it this way, my youngest child has got worms at the moment, and I can finally, okay, it makes me emotional, I can finally look at his bum and give him the care that he needs without feeling like I'm doing something horrifically wrong. Like, how beautiful to be able to pull that imprint out so deeply that it changes the way that you can show up for your children. That, and she doesn't feel like she needs to go to a mental ward, which would be very relieving. But I have seen this happen time and time again, that such deep transformational healing happens through this process, because we are clearing from the conscious mind, we are clearing the subconscious program, we are cleaning the energetic field, we are clearing the cellular memory, and we are allowing that higher self to come in and resolve and dissolve the leftover imprints and traumas and rewrite the story. So, if you're excited to see what this can do for you, continue to look through the website, book a session. I would love to facilitate this for you too.